All praise to the Most High, Creator and Sustainer of life. Praises to you all for your works, for your presence, and for your support in any way for the Church Talk Unlimited podcast. Thank the churches and other community-based organizations for working to bring truth and justice to the hood. It is true that truth does not always reflect us in a good light. Truth does not always show the best parts of us. However, truth is truth, right? Truth about what? I hear a lot of people talking about that's his truth or her truth or my truth or your truth. But what is the truth that we want? What is the truth that we need? So, for instance, for our conversation, for our talk, hello, brother, good evening. How about the truth about God? How about the truth about God's purpose for me? And how about the truth about me? Understanding as we wrestle to achieve these intentions, to understand God, to understand God's purpose for me, and to understand me, who I am, what I am. As we wrestle with these intentions, there are brothers and sisters living their truth, saying there is no God. And I used to get so upset when I would hear brothers and sisters say that. But as I've lived 50 plus years trying to understand God and God's purpose for me and who I am and who I should be, I've learned that because of us who claim to be believers, but we have not proven all things, we have caused people to disbelieve. We have caused people to say things like, if that's what a Christian is, I don't want to be that. And even in certain movies, especially some of the old Westerns, listen at how John Wayne and some of the others talked about so-called Christians. Their brothers and sisters, as I say, living their truth, saying there is no God. So I understand that. So I'm not talking against them or talking as a result of them. I'm simply saying that perhaps the truth that you and I should look for would be truth about God. Now, my God is the giver of life. My God is whoever gave me my first heartbeat and who will give me my last heartbeat. That's who I'm talking about. Hello. It is Saturday, May 17th, 2025, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to Church Talk Unlimited with James Paul Berry. I'm so glad that you're here. I know that you could be in billions of other places doing billions of other things except listening to me try to encourage you to have faith in an almighty, all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful, invisible God. Our talk today is on the subject, you can't handle the truth. This is not intended to be an insult. I can't either. I remember hearing the actor, great actor, Jack Nicholson, in the movie A Few Good Men, about a Marine who was on trial. And during this trial, as he was being questioned, he said to the officer questioning him, "You can't handle the truth," because the officer kept asking him to tell the truth, tell the truth. And he said, "You can't handle the truth." And what he meant was, if I tell you, you wouldn't be able to accept it. I want to use handle in another sense, in terms of deciding what the truth does, the effect the truth has. Not only you can't handle it, but I can't either, and we can't. And I don't think we need to handle the truth in this sense, but the truth needs to handle us. We don't need to take the truth and keep moving it until it fits us. We need the truth to set and stay in place, and we keep moving until we fit it. Truth, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the quality or state of being true. Young people, sometimes when they hear someone who can sing well from another generation, or dance well, or preach or teach well, or write books that they consider good, they say that's the truth. In the Bible, which is our book, the church, and many people who no longer go to church, but they consider themselves a part of the church, the Bible is their book too. In the Bible, Jesus is truth. John 14, verse 6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. You can't handle the truth. The truth needs to handle you. The truth needs to handle me. You and I need to be able to look into the face of truth and see ourselves and walk away with this or this in terms of examining how we live in this present world, what we bring to this present world, what we bring to the church, what we bring to society, what we bring to our family, what we bring to our own being. You can't handle the truth. Also in the Bible, John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32, and this is the King James version of the Bible. Then said Jesus to those Jews that believed in him or on him, if you continue in my word, which shows that they had begun to listen to him, but they had not accepted him, but they were listening. So he said, if you continue in my word, and I think the same for you and I, if we continue in the words of Jesus, he says, if you continue in my word, then, or you're my disciples indeed. You're not just a disciple on a Sunday or a special meeting, but you are a disciple indeed if you continue to listen, to hear the words of Jesus, and to study them, and to prove them to be true. If you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You can't handle the truth. Now, I know the Bible talks about rightly dividing the word of truth. I'm not talking about dividing it now, although dividing it has to do with handling it aright. But we can't handle it aright unless we let it handle us. The word, the Bible, the scripture must mean something to me other than there's something that I say to you. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 3 through 7. Thank you, brother. Yes, indeed. Now the time will come. He's talking about the church. Excuse me just a minute. He is talking to Timothy, the Apostle Paul, writing to Timothy, telling him what's going to happen in the future as a result of not letting the truth handle us. So he's telling Timothy to do certain things, and he said, for the time will come when they, the church folk, will not endure sound doctrine. The time will come when we won't take being rebuked, even if we deserve it, and we do deserve it sometimes. The book says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke with all long suffering and doctrine. That was the first and second verse. Because the time is coming when we will not accept sound doctrine, because we're trying to handle the truth instead of letting the truth handle us. And instead of enduring sound doctrine, instead of continuing, like Jesus said in John 8, 31, 32, so that we can become disciples indeed, we let go of sound doctrine, but after their own lusts, to fulfill our own desires, pleasing the invisible God is no longer a priority. We're trying to please ourselves. After their own lusts, church people, shall they heap to themselves teachers. They want only certain kinds of teachers. I wonder sometimes why all of those who preach the gospel of Christ don't get support if they're preaching the same thing. Why just certain preachers get support? But these are not the ones that carry out the Great Commission. These are the ones that please those who want to hear something other than sound doctrine. After their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers. They gather to themselves the same thing over and over again. They get a cookie cutter mentality. They only want to hear certain things. Don't tell me about what I need to fix. Tell me how good I am. Tell me how good I've done. But don't tell me that I need to fix something. Paul said, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. The Apostle Paul said, when I seek to do good, evil is present with me. If Paul had to check himself, I know I have to check myself. Paul said he was the chief of sinners. If he was the chief, I don't know what kind of authority I could get in there, but maybe I could be his assistant, because I know I'm not better than Apostle Paul. But the time is coming, he says to Timothy, when people don't want to hear what they need to do to get in shape, to get their heart right, to get the relationships right. Even though sometimes we lose things in the process. Sometimes we lose so-called friends in the process. Trying to accept sound doctrine, trying to change to do better. You can't handle the truth. I can't handle the truth. We can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth. We must let the truth handle us, or we're going to be like them. We're going to be going to church, but we don't think we need to go. We're going for the other folk. But after their own lusts. These are church folk. After their own lusts shall they heap to themselves. I mean, you're going to get a bunch of them. Teachers. To yourself. To themselves. To ourselves. Having itching ears. Ears that itch to hear what we want to hear, and that's all. And they shall turn their ears away from the truth. Well, what truth are we talking about? Truth can be a lot of different things. It can be about a lot of different things, but if it's about God, if it's about God's purpose for me, if it's about me accepting this purpose or me rejecting this purpose, I think the Bible is probably the closest book that I know of that will help me to understand where I stand. They shall turn away their ears from the truth. The truth of the Bible is Jesus says, I am the way, the truth. So if that is true, then I've got to get to know more about Jesus of the Bible. I've got to continue once I learn a little bit, not think I got it all, but just keep learning. My father-in-law used to say that. When you think you've accomplished something through reading the Bible, keep reading. You can't handle the truth. They shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables, fairy tales, feel-good stories, hyperbolic rhetoric. But he told Timothy, watch yourself in all things. It's all right for us to enjoy life. I love life. But we still got to watch ourselves in all things. I'm a comedian. And sometimes some people can't take jokes. I have to watch myself. Sometimes people, they don't like you anyway when you're trying to joke with them and different things. They can't handle that. Watch yourself in all things. Endure afflictions. There's going to be some hard times. I was talking to a brother a few minutes ago, about an hour ago, and we were talking about some of the hard times that are coming. And I tell you, brothers, if we're going to do the will of God that we read in the New Testament, we are going to suffer some afflictions. Well, Paul says to Timothy, endure them. Don't stop. Don't quit because it's getting hard. Don't quit because everybody seems to be abandoning you. Keep on looking for the truth that you need. He told Timothy to do the work of an evangelist. And brothers, I'm very suspicious that if we only go into the people that we already know, who've been a member of the same church as we have for the last 20, 30 years, that is not the work of an evangelist, although we do have to encourage each other, but we need to reach out to somebody who doesn't know what we know. Make full proof of your ministry. You can't handle the truth. The truth must handle you, must handle me. So when we look into the truth, we say, am I really making full proof of my ministry? Or am I just doing what I want to do? Verse 6, 2 Timothy 4, Paul says, for I am now ready to be offered. I'm not even ready to go to wherever the next phase is from out of this world. But when I do go, I hope I'm ready. Paul says, I am now ready. I'm prepared to be offered. And the time of my departure is at hand. I fought a good fight. I finished my course. I've kept the faith. Now, this is a man that when we start reading about this man, he was one of the number one enemies of the church in the whole wide world of the Roman government. He was their number one boy fighting against the church according to the New Testament. Now he says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. And a lot of you, like me, you started off in life doing one thing and you became a member of the church and you started doing another thing and you had some hard times and some people did some hard things to you and said some hard things about you and you gave up, or you're thinking about giving up, you're feeling like giving up. But Paul said, hold on, keep your faith. Prove that your faith is real by the works that you do. You can't handle the truth. I can't handle the truth. We can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth. So let's let the truth handle us and be the nation that God has called us to be. According to the New Testament, we are a peculiar people, a holy nation called out for God's own purpose. Until next time, I wish you all that you need. God bless. Hey, Willie, good to see you, brother. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, man, it is a puzzling piece, but we got to keep going according to what Jesus says. Yeah, yes. Blessings and love to you as well.